The loudest person in the room rarely holds the most power. True power is quiet, calm, deliberate, invisible until it's too late to resist. You've been taught that silence means weakness, that if you don't fight back, you lose. But the Stoics knew the opposite. Marcus Aurelius didn't shout his strength, he lived it. Seneca didn't argue his wisdom, he practiced it. Power isn't in reaction, it's in control. You live in an age where people chase validation like oxygen. Every insult, every disagreement, every little bruise to the ego becomes an invitation to fight back. But warriors of discipline know better. They don't waste their energy proving anything. Because when you react, you surrender control. And when you surrender control, you lose command of your inner empire. Your task isn't to shout louder. It's to grow quieter, to sharpen your inner weapon until you no longer need to swing it. That's where your dominance begins. The modern world glorifies noise, opinions, outrage, endless arguments disguised as confidence. But the Stoic mind sees through the chaos. You don't need to join the noise to be powerful. You need to master the discipline of stillness. When everyone else reacts, you observe. When others fight for attention, you withdraw into focus. That's where your power matures, in the invisible hours when no one is watching. When you choose restraint over retaliation, remember this truth: silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. Every time you stay composed when provoked, you build a kind of strength that noise can never imitate. The weak seek to be seen, the strong prepare in secret. You're not training for applause, you're training for control. The Stoics called it apatheia, the freedom from passion, from the storms that steal your reason. You don't suppress emotion, you command it. You learn to move without noise, to act without warning. That's how the unshakable are made. Here's the reality most people will never face. You don't need to prove you're strong. You need to become someone whose strength doesn't need proof. When you rise above the impulse to explain, justify, or defend, you reclaim the energy others waste trying to be understood. Stoic discipline begins when you no longer seek validation from the unwise. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is terrifying to those who feed on control. When you're silent, you make people wonder what you know. When you act without explaining, you force them to respect the mystery. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, don't talk about your standards, live them. Don't tell them your plans, execute them." The less you reveal, the more powerful your actions become. Because real dominance doesn't shout, it watches, waits, and moves only when the moment is right. You owe no one an explanation for your silence, your absence, or your growth. Weak minds crave your reasons so they can measure your strength. Don't give them that satisfaction. Every time you defend your decisions, you give away a piece of your peace. True power is the ability to act without needing approval. When you can say no without guilt, when you can walk away without anger, you've already won the battle within. Think about it. When you explain yourself too much, you tell the world you're unsure. When you defend yourself, you declare that their opinion still matters. But the disciplined man, the Stoic mind, has already buried that weakness. He moves with calm certainty. He speaks less, observes more, and lets results do the talking. Silence isn't emptiness, it's full of motion, preparation, and direction. While others waste time proving you are building something they can't even see yet. Your silence creates pressure. People begin to project, to wonder, to question. That's the beauty of control. When you stop reacting, you force others to reveal themselves. Let them talk. Let them underestimate you. Let their own ego become their undoing. Napoleon once said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake." The Stoic version, never disturb a fool while he's revealing his character. Ego blinds people faster than rage ever could. When someone insults you, disrespects you, or doubts you, they're exposing their weakness, not yours. Don't fight them. Observe them. Keep your energy clean. While they're performing, you're collecting information. While they're busy proving, you're growing. Real dominance is not about winning every argument. It's about outlasting every distraction. You don't rise by reacting. You rise by mastering yourself so completely that others' chaos can't even touch you. Understand this. The loudest energy in the room is often the weakest one. Real strength doesn't beg to be noticed. It operates from shadows, from patience, from discipline. Every insult that goes unanswered, every rumor that dies in silence, is a victory of self-mastery. The man who can hold his peace when provoked holds power over everyone who can't. Let them believe you're passive. Let them assume you don't care. Because while they're celebrating your silence as weakness, you're becoming untouchable. Ego-driven people reveal their entire playbook in their need to be right. But the Stoic moves like water, soft on the surface, unstoppable in motion. You don't crush your enemies with force, you suffocate them with indifference. The less they understand you, the less they can predict you. And unpredictability isn't just power, it's survival. Here's a brutal truth. Not everyone deserves to understand your next move. The more predictable you are, the easier it is to control you. So, you learn to move like a shadow, unseen. Quiet, deliberate. The Stoic doesn't announce his transformation. He lets time reveal it. Every great warrior knows the same rule. When your opponents think they've figured you out, you've already outgrown their strategy. Disappear when you need to. Don't warn them. Don't explain it. Just vanish. Withdraw from noise. From the crowd, from the need to be seen, Marcus Aurelius called it retreating into the self. It's not isolation, it's refinement. You step back, not because you're weak, but because the world dulls your edge. Every absence is an upgrade. When you return, you'll be sharper, calmer, and 10 times more dangerous to their expectations. Disappearing is not running away, it's realignment. You step back to rebuild, to break patterns, to rise higher than the world expects. The weak think presence equals power. The wise know absence creates authority. When you're gone, people talk, speculate, wonder. They realize the weight you carried once you remove it. That's the kind of power silence gives you. It teaches others your value without you saying a word. Don't explain your withdrawal. Don't announce your comeback. Let your evolution speak for itself. The ones who truly understood your purpose will stay aligned. The rest were never meant to follow you into your next chapter. Stoicism teaches that you cannot lead if you're addicted to being seen, detached from their noise. The less available you are to distraction, the more connected you become to your mission. You're not disappearing, you're transforming. There's a sacred strength in solitude. It's where the real warriors are forged, not in applause, but in silence, not in comfort, but in clarity. The world may call it loneliness, but the Stoic calls it training. This is where you study yourself like an enemy. Your impulses, your habits, your weaknesses. Because if you don't know what controls you, you'll never control your life. Every day you sit alone with your thoughts, you sharpen your awareness. Every moment you resist the urge to fill silence with noise. You build inner muscle. Solitude strips away illusions, the need for validation, the addiction to reaction, the false comfort of attention. What's left is the purest version of you, focused, self-contained, untouchable. Remember this, external power fades, but inner power multiplies in silence. The man who conquers solitude conquers the world. Now understand this, not everyone can handle your evolution. When you stop reacting, stop explaining, stop participating in chaos, you become threatening. Your peace exposes their turmoil. Your silence forces them to confront their noise. That's why some will try to pull you back into their storms, just to feel powerful again. Don't take the bait. The disciplined mind knows that reacting to provocation is losing twice. Once in energy, and once in dignity. Let them misinterpret your calm as arrogance. Let them label your distance as coldness. It doesn't matter. The Stoics taught that reputation built on misunderstanding is still freedom, because you're no longer trapped by the need to correct it. You don't owe the world your reactions, only your results. You're not here to convince anyone. You're here to become unshakable. The man who can stay silent under attack holds a power that noise will never reach. Your enemies want one thing, your reaction. They want to see that their words still sting, that their presence still shakes you. But the moment you remain calm, they lose their control. That's psychological warfare at its highest level. The Stoics mastered it centuries ago. When you don't react, you expose the emptiness of their attacks. Every insult, every rumor, every provocation dies in your silence because it has no fuel. Remember this rule. Emotion is currency, and attention is power. Every time you react, you make someone else rich in control. Stop paying people with your peace. Observe them instead. Watch their behavior. Record it mentally. Learn their patterns. When you study rather than react, you turn every insult into information, every enemy into a teacher. You stop being a player in their chaos and become the strategist in your own empire. This is the art of emotional dominance, to see everything, but respond to almost nothing. The Stoics didn't believe in repression, they believed in redirection. You don't bury emotion, you train it to obey you. When anger rises, breathe. When pride burns, observe. When fear whispers, stand still. The one who can pause before reacting has already won. Because in that pause lives your power, the split second where you decide whether to be ruled or to rule. Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers others is strong, but he who conquers himself is mighty." That's your mission now, not to win arguments or collect enemies, but to master yourself so deeply that no insult, no betrayal, no storm can break your state of mind. You become the calm in every conflict, the unmovable center of your own world. And that calm, that discipline, that unbothered silence, it's what separates kings from children. Every reaction you give is a trade, power for attention, peace for pride, but a Stoic doesn't make emotional trades. He studies the market of human behavior and invests only in what multiplies strength. So, when someone provokes you, don't argue. Take notes. When someone lies about you, don't defend. Observe how they reveal their fear. When someone tries to humiliate you publicly, don't respond. Remember, the wise never compete with the foolish. This is how you turn emotion into leverage. You store it, analyze it, and use it strategically when the time is right. The weak act on impulse, the strong act on information. Every insult becomes a data point. Every betrayal becomes a lesson. You start to move like a chess player, 3 steps ahead, calm, collected, calculating. That's how the disciplined rise. Not by reaction, but by precision. Not by fighting, but by mastering the game. You must understand, stillness doesn't mean inaction. It means intention. When you don't respond immediately, you give yourself the gift of perspective. You stop being dragged by emotion and start directing it like a weapon. Stoicism isn't passive, it's preparation. The world moves fast, but the wise move deliberately. Every pause sharpens your clarity. Every moment of silence strengthens your authority. The impulsive crave quick revenge. The disciplined create long-term victory. You don't need to correct lies when truth will expose them over time. You don't need to chase validation when results will prove it louder. You don't need to react to every attack. Your progress is punishment enough. This is how you win the war without entering every battle. You let your growth humiliate the noise, because silence, when powered by purpose, becomes the loudest response on earth. Your energy is your empire, and every reaction is an open gate. The more you react, the more entry points you give to people who want to drain your strength. Guard it. The Stoics treated emotional control as sacred warfare. To remain calm in chaos is not indifference, it's intelligence. Because when you master stillness, you gain something rarer than dominance, freedom. No one can manipulate a man who does not react. No one can destroy a man who does not depend on external approval. The quiet mind cannot be invaded. That's why Stoicism isn't about suppressing feeling. It's about owning it so completely that no one else can use it against you. Every insult becomes air. Every betrayal becomes instruction. Every failure becomes refinement. The goal isn't to avoid life's storms, but to stand so rooted that no wind can move you. That is real power. Calm, silent, unstoppable. Now, let's talk about indifference, the final level of mastery. Most people think indifference means not caring at all. That's wrong. True indifference means you care deeply about what matters and absolutely nothing about what doesn't. It's selective focus, ruthless clarity. When someone tries to provoke you, you don't even feel the pull. Their drama becomes background noise. You don't fight it, you simply outgrow it. Anton Chekhov once said, "To be insulted by a fool is a pleasure." Why? Because it reminds you that you've risen above their level of consciousness. Their chaos can't touch you unless you invite it in. So, stop opening the door. Let them shout into silence. Let their energy burn itself out. The ultimate revenge is not anger, not success. It's apathy toward their existence. You don't kill them with kindness. You kill them with irrelevance. When you stop caring about the noise, something powerful happens. You reclaim time. You reclaim energy. You reclaim the mental clarity needed to build something eternal. Machiavelli understood this well. Control isn't about force, it's about focus. A ruler distracted by every insult loses his crown to the one who builds in silence. That's how the wise live, not chasing validation, not defending reputation, but crafting results so undeniable that no opinion matters. You want dominance? Then stop proving, stop explaining, stop reacting. The moment you detach from the need to be understood, you become untouchable. People can't attack what they can't reach. Let your peace disturb them. Let your silence frustrate them. You're no longer playing their game. You've outgrown it. That's how you win, by walking away with such calm power that the battlefield becomes irrelevant. From this point forward, make indifference your armor. Not coldness, composure, not apathy, awareness. You're not ignoring the world. You're prioritizing peace over performance. The Stoics called it ataraxia, an unshakable calm that no chaos can touch. Imagine reaching a state where no insult lands, no opinion disturbs, and no loss defines you. That's not arrogance, that's emotional immortality. Every time you refuse to react, you're teaching your nervous system who's in charge. You're reminding your mind that control belongs to you, not to the world. People will try to provoke you because your peace exposes their disorder. Let them. Watch their frustration grow in the vacuum of your silence. The louder they get, the smaller they become. You don't need to destroy them. They collapse under the weight of their own noise. That's the quiet revenge of the Stoic mind. Here's the paradox of silence. The more you master it, the more power you radiate. People can sense control. They can feel when your energy is disciplined, when your emotions no longer leak through your words. Silence unsettles the insecure because it denies them validation. It forces them to face themselves. They want a reaction because reaction confirms importance. When you give them nothing, they're left with their own emptiness, and that's unbearable to them. This is why restraint is a weapon. The disciplined man doesn't need to destroy anyone. He just refuses to participate in their self-destruction. You become the mirror they can't look away from. They see their weakness in your calm. They feel their instability against your stillness. And as they unravel, you rise higher, untouched. That's the unseen advantage of the Stoic path. Your silence doesn't just protect you, it defeats everything beneath your level of awareness. Every Stoic knew this truth. Domination begins within. You can't control others, you can only control your reactions to them. The man who masters his reactions becomes ungovernable. He walks through insults, betrayals, chaos, and stays centered. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the foundation of unshakable peace. So, when the world tests you, when they mock, gossip, or try to provoke, treat it like training. Every insult becomes a chance to strengthen your composure. Every challenge becomes a classroom for your discipline. You're not here to win small arguments, you're here to win yourself. The war isn't out there, it's inside your own mind. If you master the storm within, no external force can move you. Control yourself, and you control the battlefield. This is where Stoicism and Machiavellian strategy meet. Machiavelli taught rulers to rule perception, to control how others see them. The Stoics taught warriors to rule principle, to control how they see themselves. When you combine the two, you become unstoppable. You understand that image without integrity is hollow, but integrity without strategy is wasted. You learn to be calm inside and calculated outside, still water on the surface, iron beneath. You no longer fight emotional wars. You don't chase respect, you embody it. You don't demand loyalty, you inspire it through consistency. And you don't waste time correcting fools. Time reveals everything. This combination of self-mastery and strategy is rare because it requires humility, discipline, and detachment. But once you build it, people can't manipulate you, intimidate you, or even predict you. You've become what they fear most: calm, focused, and unbreakable. Look around, the world is loud, reactive, and desperate for validation. Everyone wants to be seen, but no one wants to be still. You must move differently. While others chase approval, you build endurance. While others post their progress, you sharpen your focus in the dark. This silence is not emptiness, it's power accumulating. Every moment you don't react, you're stacking energy, preparing for impact. There will come a time when your results speak so loudly that words become unnecessary. That's when the noise around you collapses under the weight of your reality. People will call it luck. They'll call it mystery. They'll call it whatever helps them avoid admitting you out-discipline them. Let them talk. Your silence will become your signature. The wise don't announce transformation. They embody it. That's the secret path to dominance. Quiet, relentless, inevitable. You've now reached the final layer of dominance, self-mastery. Everything before this was training for this moment. The silence, the restraint, and the indifference. All of it was meant to teach you how to rule yourself. The Stoics said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom isn't found in control over others. It's in control over your impulses, your fears, your need to be seen. The world is full of men who can conquer cities but not their own emotions. You will not be one of them. From this point on, your focus is singular. Build the empire within. No noise, no validation, no reaction. Just discipline, purpose, and persistence. When you can hold your peace in chaos, when you can smile in the face of disrespect, when you can walk away from battles designed to drain you, you become untouchable. That is the mark of true dominance. So here it is, the truth that ends every argument and silences every doubt. You don't win by shouting louder. You win by becoming so steady that nothing can shake you. Control yourself, and you control everything. The world bows to the man who cannot be provoked. That's what Stoicism and power psychology both reveal. True strength is invisible until it moves, and unstoppable once it does. From now on, speak less and act more. Guard your energy like a fortress. Refuse to be pulled into emotional wars that don't serve your mission. Let your silence speak the language of mastery. Let your results make the noise your ego no longer needs. The Stoic warrior doesn't argue. He builds. He rises. He dominates from within. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence speaks louder than their noise. Like a share and subscribe, not for me, but to remind yourself that discipline still matters. This is your time to rise, quietly and powerfully. Every moment you stay silent in chaos, every time you choose calm over reaction, you're building something greater than status. You're building yourself. Remember, the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more strength. Change doesn't begin when you fix others. It begins when you master yourself. If you felt something in this message, take it as a sign. This is your call to rise, not louder, but deeper. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what part spoke to you the most. I read every word, and your reflection might inspire someone else to begin their own transformation. If this video helped you, give it a like. Share it with someone who needs calm in a chaotic world. And subscribe to join a community that values discipline, depth, and inner peace. Thank you for listening. YouTube channel, Stoic Psychology.